Hi everyone, my name is Michael Sneesby, and today I'll be talking about connectivism, a learning theory that helps us make sense of how people learn in today's hyper-connected world. Over the past few decades, technology has fundamentally changed the way we access, share, and create knowledge. Traditional learning theories such as behaviorism and constructivism mainly focus on the individual learner. But in a world where information flows across devices, platforms, and communities, we need a framework that reflects this reality. Connectivism, developed by George Siemens and expanded by Stephen Downes, provides that framework. It views learning as a process of creating and navigating networks, both human and technological, rather than simply absorbing information from a single source. Throughout the presentation, I'll unpack what this means, why it matters for education, and how it connects to what we know from an educational neuroscience point of view. So, the way we teach has undergone a profound transformation. Today's learners are often described as belonging to the Homo sapiens generation, a term used to describe young people who have grown up with technology as an integral part of their lives. Unlike previous generations, they have never known a world without the internet, smartphones, instant messaging, or search engines. For them, accessing information is not a special task, it's woven into everyday life. They use technology to learn informally through platforms like YouTube, Google, podcasts. We know AI obviously now, even gaming communities and social media. Learning happens anytime, anywhere, not just in classrooms. This creates new challenges for educators. We're no longer the sole source of knowledge. Students can access more information in seconds than we can provide in a whole semester. The challenge is how to adapt our teaching methods to match how students naturally engage with information, how to maintain their attention in a world of constant distractions, and how to guide them through a flood of information to develop deep understanding and critical skills. Connectivism offers a useful lens to understand these changes. At its core, it argues that learning happens through building and navigating networks. Knowledge is not confined to an individual's brain. Instead, it is distributed across people, tools, and information systems. For example, a student might learn by watching a video, joining a discussion forum, asking an AI tool a question, and collaborating with peers, all part of a broader learning network. In this model, the learner becomes an active participant, not a passive receiver. The most important skill is not memorizing facts, but learning how to find, connect, evaluate, and apply information from a wide range of sources. This approach mirrors the realities of modern life, where information changes rapidly, and being able to access and interpret matters because more than simply storing it. Educational neuroscience gives us a powerful way to understand why connection matters. The human brain is deeply social. Learning is not a solitary activity, it thrives on interaction, communication, and shared experiences. Social interaction stimulates emotional engagement, and emotional engagement enhances attention, memory consolidation, and motivation. In other words, the social context in which learning happens has a significant impact on learning outcomes. In traditional classrooms, these social cues occur naturally. So students talk, they read body language, and respond to teachers in real time. In remote or digital environments, these cues are not automatically present, so we have to intentionally design opportunities for interaction. This can be done through discussions, collaborative tasks, breakout rooms, shared documents, that type of thing. Connectivism fits with this understanding perfectly. It recognizes that learning emerges from connections, both cognitive and social, and that technology can support these connections when used deliberately. The theory of connectivism can be summarized through three core principles. The first is that technology should be seen as opportunities rather than obstacles. They allow learners to access information and connect with others in ways that were previously impossible. When embraced thoughtfully, technology becomes a powerful enabler of learning rather than a distraction. The second principle is that educators become guides within learners' networks. Instead of being the sole source of knowledge, teachers help learners navigate, filter, and connect information. They model critical thinking, help students evaluate sources, and support them in making sense of complex information landscapes. The third principle is that learning happens through networks, both internally and in the brain's neural networks, and externally in social and technological networks. Education, therefore, is about cultivating these networks so that learners can thrive in a connected world. Connectivism is not just a theoretical framework. It can be applied in very practical ways, especially in remote learning contexts. Learning management systems such as Google Classroom They provide a structured hub for communication, resources, and feedback. Video content allows students to learn at their own pace and works well with the flipped classroom model, where class time is used for application and discussion rather than one-way instruction. Video conferencing tools like Zoom or Teams can help recreate social interaction and support real-time collaboration. Gamification platforms like Kahoot or Quiz make learning more engaging through play and competition. Finally, online communities such as discussion boards, forums, and even interest-based networks enable students to support each other's learning, share insights, and create knowledge together. Exactly the kind of networking connectivism describes. Artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming an integral part of learning networks. Tools like ChatGPT, adaptive learning platforms, and recommendation algorithms are increasingly embedded in the way learners search for information, receive feedback, and generate ideas. In a connectivist model, AI functions as another node in the network, providing instant access to resources and supporting personalized learning pathways. However, this also raises new challenges. Learners need to develop critical thinking to evaluate AI-generated information, understand bias in algorithms, and avoid over-reliance on automated tools. Ethical use of AI is another growing concern. Educators play a crucial role here, helping students use AI intelligently and responsibly, integrating it into their learning networks without replacing human judgment and social interaction. One of the most important insights from Tokuhama Espinosa is that knowledge and skills are not the same thing. Knowledge or information can often be accessed independently and quickly. Skills and attitudes, however, require human guidance, modeling, and practice. Skills like critical thinking, ethical reasoning, collaboration, and problem solving are developed through social interaction and mentorship, not just content delivery. As educators, our role is shifting from being transmitters of knowledge to facilitators of learning. We help students bridge the gap between information and application. We create opportunities for them to practice skills, reflect on their learning, and develop attitudes that allow them to thrive in complex networked environments. Connectivism challenges us to rethink education for the digital age. It reminds us that education is no longer simply about delivering knowledge to students. Instead, it's about helping them connect, filter, and apply information effectively across a range of networks, human, technological, and cognitive. As educators, we remain essential, not as content providers, but as guides, facilitators, and designers of meaningful learning experiences. Leave you with a little reflective question. But how can we strengthen the learning networks of our students so that they can become independent, critical, and connected learners in a rapidly changing world? So, I'd like to wrap up by briefly revisiting the key points from today. So, first, the way people learn has fundamentally changed. Learners are networked and connected, often engaging with information outside of traditional classrooms. Second, connectivism provides a framework for understanding this new reality, emphasizing that learning is about building and navigating networks between people, tools, and information sources. Third, neuroscience reminds us that the social brain plays a critical role in learning. Even in online spaces, interaction, emotional connection, and shared experiences enhance attention and memory. Fourth, AI and technology are now integral parts of these networks. They are definitely not going away. They offer incredible opportunities, but learners need critical thinking and guidance to use them effectively and ethically. Finally, educators remain at the heart of this process, not as dispensers of knowledge, but as facilitators, guides, and designers who help learners connect, make sense of information, and develop the skills and attitudes they need to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Thank you.